Okay, this is the second video that goes over the exam review. So on this second video, we are asked to calculate the present value of monthly benefit. So again, you remember that that's the PV, and every function must start with an equal sign, present value, and the first thing that it's expecting is the rate. So that's this one, but this is an annual rate, and these are present value of monthly benefit. So you need to change the annual rate to a monthly rate, which means that you have to divide by 12. Now I also realized that I have to calculate that for the rest of the table, which means that I need to tell the formula that the 5% is fixed for every row in the table. So I'm gonna put a dollar sign before the B, dollar sign before, after the B. That's telling Excel that always use that cell B6 in order to find out the annual interest rate. So that's the interest rate, the first one, and then the second expectation, as you can see on the sheet right here, it says number of payments. So how many payments will you get over 15 years? Well, we know that it is monthly, so it is the number of years multiplied by 12. Again, the number of years is fixed because I only have one value here, so I need to tell Excel, always take that value. And then the last argument is the payment, which is this monthly benefit. And I'm going to put a negative sign before it and click on C9. Now C9 doesn't need the dollar signs. Why? Because the values in the monthly benefit are in C9, C10, C11, C12, C13, C14. So I need Excel to use relative reference in that case, which means on the next line, go ahead and change the C9 to C10. And then the next line, change the C10 to C11, and so on. But for the rate, I always want to use the B6, and for the interest rate. And for the years, I always want to use the value in B5. So now I have that value, and I need to copy that formula to the rest, and it is ready to be copied because I've already included what's fixed and what's variable. So as we said, interest rate and years are fixed, but the monthly benefit is variable. Now your lump sum is equal to your monthly benefit plus the lump sum over here, B9. So again, I'm going to copy the formula. I don't need now again to put dollar signs because for this cell it is C9 plus B9. Now look, C10 plus B10. Excel will automatically make the adjustment if it doesn't see the dollar sign. But if we look at the formula over here, it's still using B6 divided by 12, B5 multiplied by 12. It only changed the C9 to C10, which makes sense. So now I want to find which one will be the best option for me. And that would be the 231,308. That's the one that I will have. So I can, of course, if I had a big sheet, I can use conditional formatting, or we can do that again, top bottom rule, and we use more rules, and we say we want the top one, and we want to format it in this time like orange text, and the fill will be light green. So that's the one that's maximizing your think we didn't, it's supposed to be actually this plus this. And again, my best option, the best option is to get nothing now. So don't get any lump sum, but get a monthly benefit of 3,792. Because its present value is much higher than anything else. Okay, that takes care of question number 8. Number 9 says, go to sheet 3, name the sheet college analysis. And calculate the weighted score for 3 majors using mixed reference. So I have 3 majors: economics, accounting, and marketing. These are my scores. Remember the weighted average, we said we start by listing criteria. What is important for me in a major? So my interest, job prospect, what kind of jobs I will get, how difficult the major is, the time that is required, and then professors, whether the professors are good in that major or not. And I weighted the criteria. So most important thing is that this is of interest to me and that it has a good job prospect. Difficulty is not that important, and again, the time and the professors. I'm self-motivated, so I can, professors will not make a difference in my choice of a major. The first thing that I need to do is come up with a weighted average. So we will write like econ here and accounting and marketing. And the weighted average is equal to the criteria, the weight for that criteria multiplied by the scores for that particular major. Now the weights again will be constant. So, and they are in B7, B8, B9, B10, B11. And I ask you what is common, and you tell me B. They are all in column B. So again, in the formula, I need to fix now only B. And then the C7 will become C8, C9, and then will become E8, E7, E. So I don't need to change the C. So I'm gonna hit enter, and now I can copy these in here. Remember, you use control in order to select non-adjacent cells. So I copied it by using control C, and then control V would be to paste. Now I want to make sure that this is correct. This for accounting is supposed to be E7 multiplied by B7. So let's look and see if that's correct. Okay, it says B7 with E7, that's correct. For marketing, it should be G, so B7 again with G7. So everything looks fine. I now want to add the total for economics. So I can do an auto sum. Okay, so now I have the, you can also have the totals, but you need like to have the totals for the weighted average. Remember, in order to choose non-adjacent cells, you hit the control key and then click on each of the cells that you want to select. Now we bold them, so these are the weighted average. Draw a column chart that compares the three measures on the basis of the criteria listed. Add appropriate title and chart legend. So now I want to compare the three measures, the weighted average. So I'm going to highlight the criteria and then the scores for each. I can go this way and then hit control and choose economics and accounting and marketing, and you're choosing the weighted criteria, the weighted average. So now I selected my my columns, which are the criteria, the weighted average for economics, the weighted average for accounting, and the weighted average for marketing, and I click on insert and I want the column chart, and here I have my chart. So interest, job prospect, difficulty, time, and professors, and I'm comparing the three measures on these criteria. It says add an appropriate title and chart legend. You already have the chart legend. You only need is compare measures. So again, under chart layout, I'm going to choose title and I will center it above, and I will choose so I have comparison of measures. Now, the last question is create a scenario for the existing percentages for the criteria in the college analysis sheet. Add a new scenario that changes the criteria to the following. Interest is 20%, job prospect 550, and 10% difficulty, 5% time, and then 10% professors. So I need to increase job prospect and decrease the interest. So interest is not as important as being able to get a job after I graduate. So going here, I'm going to go under data. Let us first save the exam. And I choose what if analysis, scenario manager, and we want to add a scenario. The first scenario is interest and job prospect, and it says what are your changing cells. My changing cells are the weights for these, so I need to say that my changing cells are these cells, which are B7 to B11, and hit OK. So it tells you that the current values are 0.4, 0.4, 0.1, 0.05, and 0.05. We said OK. I want to add a new scenario, and that's prospect and professors. And again, it's B7 to B11. Now the values change. My interest drops to 0.2. The job prospect is 0.5. Remember, this is 10. 70, 80, 90. So if I want to show now, see, this is my original criteria. If I want to show that second one, I'm gonna highlight it and click show, and see, now everything changes, and even the graph changes. So if I click on the first one, look, values are changing and everything. So now we need to create the summary, but before that we have to change the names of the cells. So instead of this being 40%, or instead of it being called B7, we'll change it to interest and hit enter. And now job prospect. And remember, there is no space, so you have to put an underscore. Okay, and now we want also to name these cells, so that's econ average. Okay, so now we want to generate the report. And it tells you where is the result cells, and it's D12 is just one of them, so I need like to also choose F12 and H12. So now you have the report that says, okay, interest, job prospect, difficulty, time, and professors. This is what's current now. This is the job prospect over here. And you delete that current values, or delete the column altogether. So you can see interest and job prospect and professors, how they fare against each other. I can see that the accounting is doing better under the prospect and professors. So I may change from marketing to accounting if I give more weight to job prospect. Okay, that's all for the review. So please make sure to watch the reviews before you take the exam. The exam will be Thursday, this Thursday from 7 to 8:15 in the lab on the 3rd floor. Thank you.